Every year we hear about so many natural disasters. It seems like there's always a forest fire, flood, or earthquake causing havoc in our ecosystems. Even without all these natural disasters, biodiversity is threatened by overgrazing and deforestation. Yet somehow ecosystems bounce back. How is this possible? Well, it's all thanks to a little quirk in ecosystems known as ecological succession. Let's look at an example. This empty field may not look like a wasteland, but in terms of biodiversity, it basically is. While there are a few grasses and small insects, the soil isn't enough to support an ecosystem. After a few years, the abandoned field will look something like this. Over time, wild grasses, ferns, and fungi begin to grow in the area, allowing for small insects and worms to renew the soil and stabilize the soil for future species. These are the pioneer species, which begin all ecological succession. The pioneer species often help remove toxins, break up and enrich the soil, and allow for other, less hardy organisms to inhabit this area. A decade after abandonment, the field will look something like this. Now there are enough nutrients to support small bushes, tall grasses, and a few trees. Insects, songbirds, and small mammals inhabit this field now. These organisms are the establishing species. They continue to break up and enrich the soil, as well as attracting larger organisms, such as birds of prey and deer, to the ecosystem. In 30 to 40 years, larger trees begin to grow in the field, forming a canopy. This canopy allows for an underbrush to begin to grow. This underbrush can support sustaining species, such as larger mammals and birds. These form greater niches and more tight-knit food chains in the community. In several hundred years, a dense forest will grow in the field's place. It will be a little denser than this, and a variety of plants and animals will fill nearly every niche in this ecosystem. This is known as a climax community. It's the final state of most ecosystems and has the most biodiversity. However, climax communities don't last forever. Events, known as disruptions, can break up the balance of a climax community and send it into disarray. There are two main kinds of disruptions, primary and secondary. Primary disruptions cause the soil of an ecosystem to be destroyed. Volcanic events are examples of these. They are followed by primary succession, in which the pioneer organisms, such as lichens and mosses, must reform the topsoil. Secondary disruptions are where the topsoil is not destroyed, and they can vary from something as simple as overgrazing to a forest fire. They cause secondary succession, which is what we saw in our abandoned field. Through ecological succession, communities in nature are able to withstand disaster, and it exemplifies the persistence of life. Thanks for watching.